now come to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
Good evening, City Council, Mayor Burcroft, Attorney Hitchcock, Deputy Clerk and audience. Well, we hope that everybody had a great Thanksgiving. This is the City of Romulus City Council regular meeting, and today's date is Monday, November 26, 2018. And at this time, we will have a roll call. Councilwoman Abdo.
Here.
Councilman Barton.
Here.
Councilwoman Roscoe.
Here.
Councilwoman Talley.
Here.
Councilman Wadsworth.
Here.
Councilwoman Webb.
Here.
Councilwoman Williams.
Here.
Mr. Chair, we have a quorum for tonight's meeting.
Okay, thank you.
The council meeting agenda is as follows. Number 1, agenda. Number 2, minutes. Number 3, petitioner. Number 4, chairperson's report. 5, mayor's report. 6A, clerk's report. 6B, treasurer's report. 7, public comment. 8, unfinished business. 9, new business. 10, communication. 11 is warrant 18-22, and number 12 is adjournment. And a motion would be in order to accept the regular council meeting agenda as presented.
So moved to accept the agenda as presented.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the agenda as presented. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth? Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Agenda approved.
Number 2 are the minutes. Agenda item 2A for approval are the minutes from the regular council meeting held November 13th, 2018.
So moved for November the 13th, 2018.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb, for approval of the minutes from our regular city council meeting held November 13th, 2018. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Agenda item 2B for approval are the minutes from the special meeting held on November 13th, 2018. This was an open session regarding the city quarterly investment report.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for the approval of minutes from the special meeting held November 13th, 2018 for the open session.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, for approval of the minutes from our special meeting held on November the 13th, 2018, which was the open session, city quarterly investments report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, and motion is approved.
There are no petitioners this evening. Number 4 is the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I just hope that everyone had a pleasant Thanksgiving this weekend. And hope you didn't eat too much like I did, but I just want to, it's just nice to just live in Romulus. That's what I really wanted to say. I seen so many activities going on this weekend. They had, well, probably be spending more later on down in the program, but you had the Romulus House feeding people for Thanksgiving dinners. You had the turkey trot. There are just so many activities in the city of Romulus. There's people's coming together in our city. And with that, let's conclude the chairperson's report.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a request to accept your report.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, to accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved, and thank you.
Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Good evening, City Council, Clerk, Deputy Clerk, and audience. Quote for tonight goes as this, Mr. Chairman. It's gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. And gratitude and Thanksgiving are really the message this time of year, as you said. I'm thankful for a lot. I'm thankful for my community, thankful for my family, thankful for our team here, for City Council, the electeds. A lot goes into providing services for the community, but we have a great community. Thankful that we have now an opportunity with public safety that we didn't have before. So I'm looking forward to finishing up this year and a great year next year. So you're a part of this community. Thank you, and I appreciate you. We have a quick video clip, and then we'll get into a couple action items. So if you could roll that, please.
Here are some events coming up. The annual tree lighting ceremony will be this Friday. The event starts at 6 p.m. with the arrival of vendors. The tree lighting will begin at 6:30 with Santa due to arrive at 6:45. Pictures with Santa will last until 8 p.m. This is the last week for lawn waste pickup. This Friday is the deadline for purchase of wreaths for Wreaths Across America. The ceremony will be held Saturday, December 15th at the Romulus Memorial Cemetery beginning at noon. Brunch with Santa will be Saturday, December the 8th. Tickets are $10 per child and must be purchased by this Thursday. Sunday the 9th will be the annual Chad Tuff Bowling fundraiser at Romulus Lanes as put on by the National Honor Society. Tickets are $20 per person. Registration starts at 3:30. Bowling will begin at 4. The Senior Center Christmas Gala Luncheon will be held on Thursday the 13th at the Senior Center beginning at 11 a.m. The library will feature family story time every Wednesday through December the 4th. The program will start at 6:30 p.m. and encourages family togetherness. Once again, the Romulus Recreation Committee, along with the Beautification Committee, will recognize homes in Romulus that are decorated for the holidays. To nominate a home or for more information, call 734-941-8665. To find out more about all of our community events, go to the locations noted on your screen. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Roger. A few action items tonight, if we could. First up is item number A. And this is a request to concur based on a recommendation of Julie Albert, our assessor, and concur with the administration, adopt the attached resolution for the City of Romulus poverty exemption for 2019 to be used by the Board of Review to approve or deny poverty exemptions.
Through the chair, if I may,
Yes, Ms. Webb.
I'd like to make that motion to concur with the recommendation of Julie Albert, our city assessor, and the administration to adopt the attached resolution for the City of Romulus poverty exemption for 2019 to be used by the Board of Review to approve or deny poverty exemptions.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Talley, and this was for the exemption of principal residence by reason of property. Any discussion? Yes.
Through the chair, could the mayor just give a little brief about this particular line item?
Yeah, what I'll do, Mr. Chairman, is we have Julie Albert, the assessor, here, so she can give a quick overview of how this ties into the Board of Review's criteria.
All right, thank you.
Julie?
Good evening.
Good evening.
The General Property Tax Act authorizes the Board of Review to reduce either in part or fully an applicant's taxable value based on their ability to pay. It is an annual appeal process. The Board of Review is required to use guidelines that are approved by the governing body. So every year we come back to you and ask you to approve the guidelines. We're using the state of Michigan recommended guidelines from the federal government to establish the benchmarks for family members of family and that type of a thing.
Okay. Any other questions for Ms. Albert?
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay, thank
Anything
you.
else? Thank you, Julie.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next is item B, and that's a recommendation that came from Tanya Cofield, our recreation coordinator, and City Attorney Stephen Hitchcock. And the request is to concur with the administration, authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached intergovernmental agreement with Wayne County for improvements to Fernandez Park located on Avalon Street, and to update the walking path that surrounds the park, purchase new swing set, planners, and message board for upcoming events for the city of Romulus.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we approve the Wayne County Park Improvement Grant Award for Fernandez Park.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for Wayne County Park Improvement Grant Award for Fernandez Park. Any discussion? Yes, Ms. Wood.
So, it was Tanya or Jasmine that brought this forth?
Yeah, this was a recommendation from Tanya, who works under Jasmine's vertical.
What I was concerned about, you're saying putting a swing set along what I know as the blacktop, but you're calling it the Boise Walkway. Where would this swing set be located?
Jasmine, do you want to come up and address that, please?
Good evening. This is actually for Fernandez Park, not Boise. This is the intergovernmental agreement for this year's current Wayne County Park funds for Fernandez Park.
Okay, because in the council packet, I could have swore I read something about putting in planters, and I'm sure that's flowers, right? Mm-hmm. And a swing set. So where would this be located?
Fernandez. All of those improvements are at Fernandez Park. The swing set would be to replace the existing one.
And the flowers, the planters?
I guess I don't have exact locations for where they would be inside the park at this time, but a couple of them would be sprinkled throughout the park area.
So what is the plan for the top park?
You want to address the top park? There was another grant also that we were awarded, but you can talk about the tot lot. It's actually the park off of Beverly Road.
Mm-hmm. So the intergovernmental agreement that was approved by council in August was for the Boise Parkway and the tot lot. So this is the one tonight is a separate agreement, but as far as the tot lot and Boise Walkway go, those agreements were approved by you guys and are in the process of being approved by Wayne County Commissioners so that we can move forward with the purchasing process.
So you're saying the Boise Walkway. Mm-hmm. So what part of the Boise Walkway are you speaking of? I know you keep saying Fernandez Park, but it actually starts at Chamberlain, right? And it goes into Fernandez Park?
The Boise Walkway part, that's just the boulevard area that goes throughout the 4th Street neighborhood. Fernandez Park is the separate big park.
I know that.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, what part of the Boise path or walkway are you speaking of?
For the previous agreement?
For this agreement?
This agreement doesn't touch any of Boise
Just
Walkway.
Fernandez.
There is a walking path around the park that eventually does connect to Boise Walkway. They're very near each other and they do intertwine. But this is just the walkway just around the park area itself. Sorry for the misunderstanding.
Okay, because it says, as an update to our previous IGA brought to council in August regarding the top park and the Boise Walkway. So this has nothing to do with the...
No, I just included that on the memo as an update for the separate. So I was actually trying to clarify that they're different, but I'm sure that came across as confusing. I'm sorry.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions from council? Okay. Thank you, Jazz.
Thank you. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is the renewal for MML. So the request is to concur with the administration, authorize the renewal for the Michigan Municipal League membership dues until such time the city no longer wishes to participate for the budget of that expenditure. The amounts listed on the next page, $7,303.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to renew the Michigan Municipal League membership dues for 2019 in the amount of $7,303.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, and this is for that Michigan Municipal League membership dues of 2019. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next, we have a few budget amendments, the first of which is a request to concur with the administration and introduce budget amendment 18/19-12. That's to allocate funding for costs associated with the acceptance of the 2017 SAFER grant and the hiring of 5 additional firefighter positions. The amounts listed on the next page.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Abdo.
I'll make that motion to introduce Budget Amendment 18/19-12 to allocate funding for costs associated with the acceptance of the 2017 SAFER grant and the hiring of 5 additional firefighters. Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Tally. This is for the introduction of budget amendment 18/19-12, and it's for the general fund. Any discussion?
Mr. Barton,
Yes, Mr.
if I
Wadsworth.
could, through the mayor or to Kevin, how soon would these individuals on the job, I guess?
Come up and ask it.
And is this part of opening up the other station?
Yep, good evening. Thank you, Mayor. So we're currently in background checks with some of the individual applicants. That time frame varies depending on a number of different factors. And my goal right now is to have these individuals, or the 5 new individuals, hired sometime mid-January. And then we have a number of different things that we have to do for the opening of the second station as well. Part of which is the training of the new individuals, getting them trained and qualified as manpower, and then some infrastructure stuff over at Station 2 that
All right,
needs to be done.
sounds good. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Any other questions?
I would just like to say I spoke with Kevin earlier on 5D and 5E, and I was totally pleased with the explanation that he gave and the work that he's doing to get that second fire station open. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The next request is to concur with administration and introduction of budget amendment 18/19-13, and that will be to recognize the federal funding and allocate additional funds for the costs associated with the acceptance of that 17 SAFER grant and the hiring of those 5 additional firefighter positions in accordance with the period performance for the grant beginning February 23rd of next year.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for introduction of budget amendment 18/19-13 for the general fund in regards to the 2017 SAFER grant.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Tally, for the introduction of budget amendment 18/19-13 from general fund. Any discussion? Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Last action item is a request to concur with the administration and do introduction of budget amendment 18/19-16, and this is to cover the purchase of a police vehicle that was not encumbered in the 17-18 approved budget.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move for the introduction of budget amendment 18/19-16 for the federal forfeiture fund.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for the introduction of budget amendment 18/19-16 for the federal forfeited fund. Any discussion?
Yes.
Yes. Ms. Abdo?
Yes, I'd like to know why, a little bit more about this, why we need this vehicle at this time, and why it wasn't in the last year's budget. So,
It was in last year's budget, and it was just the dollars were moved over this year in anticipation of it, so.
was this something that we had planned to purchase?
Yes.
Okay, that answers my question. Thank you.
And I would like to know, what vehicle will this, will we be purchasing?
This was a squad vehicle. It was a frontline, what do you call it, scout car, I guess is what you call it. There were some we were looking for last year, and I think there were 3. We need actually more than that, but that's what we allowed for, and this one will come up in this next. This will allow for the funding for this year's budget.
Okay, Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Tally,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. That concludes my report.
Thank you.
6A is the clerk's report. There's only one action item under my report this evening. That is the appointments to the Board of Review. The Executive Advisory Committee met on Tuesday, November 13th, 2018, and this was to review the request from the City Assessor, Julie Albert, to reappoint Shirley Lamberson and Deborah Hoffman to the Board of Review. The Executive Advisory Committee is asking council to concur with the request from our City Assessor and to approve the appointments of Shirley Lamberson and Deborah Hoffman to the Board of Review with their new terms to commence on January 1st, 2019 and expire on December 31st, 2020.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Webb.
I'd like to make that motion to concur with the Executive Advisory Committee and approve the appointment of Shirley Lamberson and Deborah Hoffman to the Board of Reviews.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Tally, for the appointments to the Board of Review. Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Tally,
Yes.
Ms. Williams, Ms. Williams?
Had discussion.
Yes, go ahead.
I just would like to know, were these the only two that requested to be appointed?
Oh, if I can, through the chair, yes.
Yes.
These, and they're being reappointed. They've already
Reappointed.
been serving. They
Okay.
just, submitted a request to be reappointed to the board.
Okay. Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
That concludes my report, other than, for your information, there's two notices, one from Comcast. It's a notice, effective January 1st, 2019, and it's regarding, prices for certain services and fees will be increased. And also effective January 1st, 2019, the Fuse channel will no longer be available on the channel lineup. And then there's a State of Michigan notice of public hearing notice. This was for DTE that's scheduled for Wednesday, December 5th, 2018. These notices will be available on the bulletin board for the public. And with that, that will conclude the clerk's report.
Thank you.
Number 7 is the treasurer's report, in which there is no report this evening. And takes us to agenda item number 7, public comment. And this is a portion on the agenda for those individuals that would like to address city council. Please raise your hand, and when recognized by the chair, approach the podium, and we ask that you state your name and address. Remarks shall be limited to 3 minutes, subject to being extended an additional 3 minutes by consent of the chairperson. There shall be no personal attacks, and remarks shall not contain any profanity, racial, ethnic, sexual, or national origin slurs or overtones. This public meeting shall not be used to campaign for elected office and may not be used to support or oppose any candidate or ballot proposals. Anyone not adhering to these rules shall lose their right to address city council. A response to any questions and/or concerns will be provided under agenda item number 8, unfinished business, and that's only if the information is available. Otherwise, responses that require further investigation will be given at a later date. Mr. Chair and Council, we do have 3 written requests under public comment. And the first written request is from Mr. Charlie Watson.
Okay, before we start, I'd like to reiterate that, you can still come up, Mr. If you need more time than 3 minutes, please let the chair know. And please, no personal attacks. If something that's out of order, you're gonna hear this. And that means that, we're moving on. Really appreciate it, thank you.
evening.
Good evening.
My complaint is how I came to the city 3 or 4 times about the water problem I was having on my property at 36-100 Bibbins. And I didn't get no action. I had to come to the mayor. What he do? Dig a trench across my driveway. So, to me, you all forced me off of my property. You put the big house over there on the north side of me, brought in all kind of dirt, knew I couldn't raise my house up, but everything come to me. The land I got over there at 3604 Bibbins, I used to have a garden there every year. It's flooded. So, to me, you just bullet me out of my property I worked 42 years for. And your last attorney, y'all came with me about 3 or 4 times. Last time you came, you figured I was gonna give in. I wouldn't have gave in, but my wife was on me. She said, you can't win with them peoples. I said, and then she asked me to sign papers to sell it. So you think that's a fair assessment of what you all did?
Well, I have no idea of what the situation is, or I don't know if anyone up here have, but
Yes, you do.
I'm sure that can be addressed if possible under comments on unfinished business.
Well, you was by my house.
Yeah, but I'm not.
And the mayor, he came out there and walked around in my yard when all that water was there. I didn't get no action from you. Nobody. So, to me, that was a force out. And a bully out. You made me keep that over my head for 20-some years. I had to deal with that. And I just want to know what you all think about what you all did to me. That was my life. It wasn't yours. But it's gone now. Here I am, 76 years old. I'm supposed to start all over again. To me, you should have placed me somewhere if you wanted the property. But no, you couldn't stand to see that, doing that for a black man.
We're going to, you may want to set up an appointment or discuss this, or, because we can't, I don't know the situation as far as, I don't have the expertise of knowing what's right or unfair about property. So it would have to be someone that has,
Well,
more knowledge than we have.
I'm not in no hurry. I'm not passing away tomorrow.
Okay.
We hope not.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
Mr. Watson, the property, I wasn't here, so I don't have any information like Mr. Barton said, but the property that you still own there, is it still being flooded out?
yes.
So I would suggest that the mayor address that.
Well, that's gonna come under unfinished business. It's about, someone would, we'll talk with you on this matter, but we, we understand the situation, and, administration would, make appointment with you, I'm sure. Okay?
Well, when you gonna get back with me?
Well, I can't see it right now, but
Okay.
somebody will get back with you. Thank you, Mr. Watson.
Through the chair, if I may, Mr. Watson, which address were you speaking of? Because I know you no longer live at that house. Is it the 36040 Bibbin?
Yeah, that's
Is the
the
one
one I.
that's speaking where you had the garden?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Our next written request is from Crystal Price.
Council. Chair, Mr. O'Hearn is also on the speaker. Yes, is it okay if he comes with me to speak?
Sure, see.
Yes, because
He's on
we're
the
in the
list.
same. If you don't mind.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ms. Price. There were two written requests, and Mr.
Is you
O'Hearn-
one of them? Yeah.
Okay, so we
It's
do
a-
have written. It's up to the.
Yeah,
Right.
sorry, yeah, I want to,
Go
because
ahead.
we're together, so I just was trying to, okay, I'm here today, I'm here from, I've come to the last couple, city council meetings, November the 5th and November the 13th. And there's a couple of things that I'd like to, I have concerns about. The first one is, there was a situation that we need to straighten up here. It was called out for Mr. O'Hearn as the accuser of what happened at my premises on October the 23rd regarding a councilwoman, and he is here to clear up this situation. And I would like him to have the opportunity to clear that up.
On the 23rd, I was at her house.
He's speaking to the,
Oh, sorry. On the 23rd, I was at Mrs. Price's house, and as we were waiting to go inside the house
Inspection.
for an inspection, Councilwoman Webb showed up. I was under the impression that she was there to help Mrs. Price in the situation that was going on. So Victor, who was a bailsman, let us, me and Mrs. Webb, go into the house to check to make sure everything was removed. As we were going throughout the house, Mrs. Webb was saying what a nice house it is. It's got a lot of room. My son's looking for a house. This is a very nice house. She then asked Victor if it's for sale. Victor said, yes, there's a real estate company that's dealing with that. So after we did the inspection and everything, and she commented a few times about how nice and big the house was, we got outside, and as soon as we got outside, I told Mrs. Price what was going on, because my understanding that she was there to help Mrs. Price, and that wasn't what was going on. She was there to purchase a house, basically. So as soon as we got outside, she went with Victor and got phone numbers from the real estate company on a card, and then came back to talk to Mrs. Price with it in her hand, like she was helping her. So,
okay, well,
The truth. You're stating the truth. That's what
Yeah.
you're here for.
okay. That you just, okay.
yeah.
All right, thank you. Ms. Webb, you like to say anything?
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Webb.
Now, this is the third time, Ms. Price, that you have come up and accused me, and I don't know why. I was in my bed. Councilwoman Virginia Williams called me and asked if I would go over and see you. I did not know you. I'd never seen you before in my life. You just happened to live in my neighborhood. So I went to see what was going on. I had no idea that you were being evicted from your home. None whatsoever. I mean, how am I supposed to know that you're being evicted when I wasn't even over there. I received a call. Yes, you asked. They would not allow you to go into that house to do a walkthrough. And I said, is it okay if I go? Because you had mentioned there were items in the house that you could not get out. And I hope I'm okay through the attorney that I can defend myself here this evening in regards to this matter. I went into the house, I did a walkthrough. There was absolutely nothing there but a pool table. This gentleman, I believe he said he was your husband.
It's not my husband.
Or in a way, I was in there with a victor, the gentleman who was there to finish evicting you or whatever they were doing. Yes, the house is beautiful, very high end.
Yes, it is.
And I did comment on that, but the gentleman was saying that some things about your personal finances, which I did not comment, and I'm sure the gentleman there will say that. But yeah, I asked about the house, but I did not say I was buying a house. I can't even afford to buy a house, and I wouldn't want to buy your house. But don't keep coming here. And I don't know why and what purpose it is for you to continue to come here and want to attack me. There's nothing that I can do for you. So I just don't understand, what do you want from me and I'm not going around to the neighborhood telling everybody about your financial situation? And I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate it at all. And I would suggest that you don't just stop coming back here trying to tear down my character and saying things that are not true. Yes, my son, my grandson used to spend the night at your house. Now, maybe that's some type of confusion. I said my son said the house was nice. Yes, and I asked Victor, and he was explaining to me what was going on with you. He did give me a card. He gave me the lender's name, the bank, or whoever you are dealing with. But other than that, do not come and accuse me. If you want to accuse me of something, then you're invited to come to my home and sit down and talk it over. But coming here, putting it out into the public, that does not fray me, not one iota. So I would suggest that you all stop it. Just stop it.
Okay, we're going to,
Comment on that one? Because like,
we finna move on. Y'all have to do this. We're gonna move on, okay? I really appreciate it.
This is his part here, but I'm here today. This is what he needed. She wanted the accuser to come. The accuser came. She
Okay.
said what she had to say, which is fine. The bottom line is this. I'm here before council tonight asking for the copy of the order. Last week when I was here on the 13th, there was comment or remarks that, first of all, the mayor stated.
Just a minute, hold on. And just anything to do with the court.
This has got to do with the court order,
Well,
the order.
Wait, can I speak, please? As far as any kind of court business, the council, I spoke with the chief judge at the courthouse.
Okay.
I was informed the council cannot do anything to this situation. And to expand on it here is really a waste of time because there's nothing we can do. She told me that specifically, that this shouldn't even be brought up to council because we can't do nothing, we can't influence nothing, there's nothing we can do.
Well, I disagree with that, council,
Well,
or
you know, just-
chairperson, because the fact that I have a order here, I mean, a piece of
I got
paper
a number that
to
you
say
can call.
that Romulus Police drew up a,
It's-
parking impound paper saying that my car was abandoned in my my driveway. That's an issue here.
I
You
got-
guys
just a minute.
promised me,
Ma'am, Ms. Price, I got a number for you, information for your complaints. I know how you feel. I can imagine how you feel that you may be mistreated or whatever. But what I'm trying to say is the council up here We cannot do anything. We cannot overrule the court.
I'm not asking you to, sir.
Well, why you keep bringing it up to the city
Because
council?
last time I was here, you guys told me you were going to get the copy, you asked for a copy of the order, so I'm here to see if you have the copy of the order. That's what you told me.
Okay, well,
Is there an order? Do you have a
What?
copy?
the court has said stay out of their business, and that's what we're going to do.
But the,
We have a number you can call that if you have any kind of complaints furthermore, it's called the State Court Administration Office.
I know about the state court administrative office, but I think this is the problem issue here, is I am a citizen here, okay? And I own property here, and I still own my home, regardless of what has happened here. But my bottom line is this: my car was illegally towed. Listen, could you please listen to
I'll
me?
give you 2 more minutes, and then we're going to end this conversation.
Okay.
I'm sorry. We're going to end this conversation
Okay,
2 more minutes.
That's fine. What I'm saying to you is Romulus Police. The court is saying that, or the toll place said that Romulus Police called them with to have my car towed. And what I'm asking for from the Romulus Police Department, which you have jurisdiction over, to show me the order. Where is the order? And I have a right to ask for the order. I'm not trying to be here on the court. I already know you guys can't do nothing with the court, but you have a duty and an obligation to me as a citizen to show me proof as to why they took my vehicle. My vehicle is still impounded. I have a letter here from the memo from the mayor saying that my vehicle has been returned to me, which is a lie because I do not have my vehicle.
We have some information that, are you sure that the police department did this order? That's why I'm telling you to go back to the court.
It's right here.
Let me see.
It's right here.
Okay, we're gonna end this right now. Please, and then if you have any other questions, you can take it up with the court or the administration, but I appreciate it. I really appreciate it, Ms. Price, but we are spending on this a lot, and
Okay, so I want the public to know that this is how I feel.
okay,
I'm
appreciate
being blown off by my city council. Okay, this is not going to go away.
Okay, well,
It is not going to go away.
okay, you can, like
And
I
the
said,
mayor
we can do.
put in his memo that he was informed and confirmed by Romulus Police that I received my vehicle back, which is a lie.
Okay, all right, thank you.
That was the only written request. Mr.
Any other comments from the audience? No more comments from the audience, we'll close that part out.
Number 8 is unfinished business.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
The issue, I just wanted to mention on Mr. Watson that came forward. I'll check into that, but my recollection of that property, it was a voluntary sale. There was a piece of property that the historical park expanded. It was not a condemnation. Believe me, I know what having your property taken is like, because the airport happened to us when they put the 4th parallel runway. So it wasn't that type of action. It was a voluntary transaction. As far as the drainage issue, I know I had people from DPW out there looking at it. There was a series of things that were done to that whole area when it was paved and so forth, but I'll try to get back to council on the details, the timing of when that happened. But we didn't push anybody out. We didn't bully anybody out. We paid fair market value, and sorry that the gentleman feels that way, but I'll get you a report on that. Thank you.
If there's no more unfinished business, then
You had something to say?
I understand what you said, the court said, but from the way I see it, regardless of what the city attorney says, why can't the city produce the order so we can move on? Because if her car was illegally towed or was towed without an order, why is it that we can't produce it so we can move on? You can't move on when you're leaving something hanging like that. I seen the document.
Mr. Chairman, I can have Steve speak to that. I had him go over and meet with the judges at 34th District Court.
Okay.
Whatever order there is in the court's files, not in any files that the city has. And And I was informed by the court that they in fact were the ones, and I put it in the memo, they were the ones who towed it away because the car was setting up against the garage door, and the garage door could not be opened without moving the car, and the people on the property were saying it was inoperable at that time, and it was eventually moved so that the garage could be opened and the personal belongings of Mrs. Price could be removed out of the garage. Romulus Police Department was only there at the request of the court, and they just stood there to make sure it was a peaceful transition.
As I said, why can't we get the court to just produce the order so we can move on? If the court gave the police department an order to have her car impounded, what's the problem? Not the attorney talk to the judge, not somebody talk. It should be something in writing.
It's not our authority.
Not the police department is not, the court is.
Somebody wants to go over and do a freedom of information request, what's in that file? It's a public file.
But if the court is saying they don't have an order on file, or they don't have an order, that's what's really baffling me. Because the city is saying it's not their fault, the court is saying they don't have it. It doesn't make sense, and we are here to settle this, not to let it keep dragging on.
They didn't tell me they didn't have an order.
Well, they didn't tell you that, but that's not what they told others.
They
and
told
so
us
you're
they
just the
ordered it.
city attorney. Excuse me, you're just the city attorney. So and Kathy Abdo, the councilwoman Kathy Abdo asks to see an order. So all I say is let's see an order.
Mr. Abdo, I'd like to say something on that.
Since I spoke that time, I did some research on eviction. And an eviction order basically says all personal property needs to be removed from the property. And I said, would that include a car? And again, I was told all personal property. They don't individually give an order for a car. Anything that is a personal, that belongs to them, has to be removed from the property, which does entail a car. So I doubt if there is a separate order to remove the car, but there is an eviction order on file there. And I believe Mr. Wadsworth spoke to that. Am I right, Mr. Wadsworth?
I did. I spoke to it. I said in my years in this town, I dealt with many of these to the 34th court, and none of them were something that you really wanted to do. But I read the letter from that the attorney got, and it says that the court officers ordered the vehicle to be moved. It wasn't the police department, it was the court officers, and they contacted Crova. The police department is there to maintain the peace. We're not there to remove property, tow cars, we're there to maintain the peace. The 34th District Court sends their people there, they do all the work. All the cops do when they get there, and I see one of our captains in the back, and if he wants to address it or not. We're there to maintain the peace. We're not there to take anybody's property, and that's my comment.
Right, and I'm just insinuating that the court told us, let the court handle their business, and we handle city business. We have no authority over the courts. I read the letter too in detail, and in so many words, they said, we has no authority or influence over the courthouse. So I took it as that, and that's why I'm saying, if there's any more complaints, I got this number you can call, or as far as coming up to city council, you know, I just about had enough of it.
Mr. Chairman, could I answer? Council had asked Councilwoman Abdo and Wadsworth about that order, and when that came up and Steve talked to him, he referenced a meeting he had with him, and you saw his letter back. I had 2 judges in my office saying, look, you don't request documents from us. There's a process to go through. They don't come and request things for us. There's separation in government. You know, this isn't your business to butt into, and we have to respect it. That number that they call, if they have any complaints with the court, they can go through that, they can request it, they can file complaints, they can FOIA it. It's not an order that we have here, so I fulfilled the request that council had. We have a person that comes and says, I lied about where the vehicle is. I provided a memo that came from the police department when they tried to help with that. I didn't give you a memo with that. To my knowledge right now, that car's still in the impound. So, you know, that's not my matter, that's not your matter, it's not our police department's matter, that's the individual's matter before the court. So at this point, I've fulfilled all my obligation that council has asked. We've given you memo after memo. We've investigated it. The facts are, they had their day in court. If they don't like that, there's the process they can go through by calling that number. But I'm not gonna sit and debate about it. If you have information, I'll request it. You know, I'll try to work with council, and I have done that. Thank you.
Thank you.
If there's no more unfinished business, then number 9 is new business.
Yes, Ms. Roscoe.
I'd like to ask for a memorial resolution tonight for Stephen Lukowitz. He passed away on November 16th, 2018.
I'll support it.
And visitation was tonight at Crane's, and the funeral is tomorrow. And I would just like to say my heartfelt sympathy goes out to the family and all his friends.
I'd just like to also say that I knew Steve Lukowitz since he was a teenager, and he lived in Romulus all his life, and I knew the whole family, and it's kind of very tragic at a very young age of 52 or 53 that he had to leave, but may he rest in peace.
Also,
Chair.
Go ahead, Ms.
If
Webb.
I may, of course, most of us knew Stephen, and that's what I called him, was Stephen. I knew him when he was a teenager as well. His dad gave me my first job here in the city of Romulus in the treasurer's office. His dad was the city treasurer back then, and Steve was, he was special. He really was. He was a nice person, and my sympathy goes out to the Lukowitz family.
I also like to say that I knew Steve and his father, Mr. Lukowitz Sr., and he had a really sweet mother, too. At first he was city councilman, then he treasurer, our city treasurer, clerk, and I guess where Ms. Webb was referring to that. But they're really a nice family. Even the brothers, Mark Lukowitz, Steve, which used to come up here, and they're just a nice family, and very, that family was always in the community doing things, helping people in this community. And it's sad that anyone lose a family member. It's not an easy thing to swallow, and I'm sure that council people and administration have our condolences to the city of Romulus. Thank you. It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, for a memorial resolution for Steve Lukowitz. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Okay, follow along.
Is there any more new business? Number 10 is communication.
Yes, Ms.
I would just like to thank Julie Wytoka, the mayor's chief of staff, for getting the information to Captain Monty to clear something up that was stated at the last council meeting. And it just confirms and verifies that he did spoke with Mr. Bocon of J.T. Crover, and he did witness that I was not with Ms. Price at the tow yard. And also just to let Ms. Webb know, when I didn't know Ms. Price from Adamant. Someone gave her my number, she called me and asked me to get to her house. I couldn't move that fast. So I suggested that she call Councilwoman Webb because she was in the neighborhood. So that's how she ended up calling you Ms. Webb. It was not something that was intentionally done to you. Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Rags.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to congratulate the APA on their annual Thanksgiving dinner at the Coleman Center this year. It was a success, and everybody put in a lot of work, and the food was great, and the fellowship was great. So great job again, APA.
Okay, great. Okay, yes, Ms. Talley.
And I would just like to say a special shout out and thank you first to you, Chairman Barton, and my colleagues up here for the 50th presentation we did for Minnie Edwards. The communication I got back from her through my mom, Reverend Rita Talley, was she just felt the love and support from her community, the mayor, the administration. She just was very appreciative. It was a very difficult time because she lost her husband over a month ago, and then they're coming up on the 50th. So thank you all for supporting her. And just continue to pray for her during these times, along with so many other people as we go into this holiday season with Christmas coming up. I always say peace on earth and goodwill towards men, but there's a lot of people that's dealing with grief right now, so just keep all of them in prayer. Thank you.
I want to say, do we have a council person from Inkster in the audience?
Yes.
I'd like you to stand up and recognize our councilman from Inkster. Yeah, I grew up with his family in Inkster on Henry Ruff and Annapolis. Really family, well-known family, really nice family. I know I don't know if your uncle or I know some kin to you that used to be Nip. It was his nickname, I think, Nip. So I won't embarrass you no more by saying Nip. But anyway, what's it such a great family, and I really appreciate you coming to our city council meeting, and we're glad to have you here. Mr. Wadsworth, you had something to say?
If I can, on a quick note, as we approach the Christmas season, if you're looking to buy a cat or a dog as a gift, first of all, I want you to remember it's a lifelong thing to keep. And before you run to a pet store, go to the Romulus Animal Shelter, take a look over there, and if they don't have what you want, I'm sure that they can look around and possibly give you a hand out. And also, you have until the end of the year to make your donations to the Romulus Animal Shelter. But if you don't like the Romulus Animal Shelter, that's fine. There's other places in our city to donate. And I'll start with the cemetery board. I'll start with the library board, with the up on Beverly Road, the APA, Helping Hands, the Salvation Army, Willie Hester's group over on Whitehorn is Civic League. The thing is, Christmas is coming, and there's a lot of folks that need help, so give, give, give. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any more communication from council? No. Great. Number 11 for approval is warrant 18-22.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion we pay warrant 18-22 for the following amounts.
Okay.
General Fund, $122,715.32. Major Street Fund, $1,053.90. Local Street Fund, $560.44. Cable, $3,237.33. Street Lighting Fund, $42,242.15. CDBG, $52.95. 9/11 Service Fund, $12,805.17. NARC Forfeiture State, $2,036.02. Library Fund, $5,620.37. DDA, $512.48. Tifa District 2, $386. Vining Road Extension E-Course Construction, $100.39. Water and Sewer Fund, $355,391.12. Motor Vehicle, $27,320.63. Technology Services, $15,528.66. Retiree Insurance Benefits, $240,080.83. Revolving Fund, $254,244.25. Current tax, $8,891.07. Delinquent personal property, $14,159.11. Payroll fund, $293,088.68. Total of all funds, $1,400,026.87.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, to pay warrant number 18-22 for $1,400,026.87. Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Ms. Talley.
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Webb.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Warrant number 18-22 will be paid.
Number 12 is
So
adjournment.
moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth, Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Tally,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. We are adjourned. Thank you.